Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Shalonda. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I am ready to tell you a little secret. That's not so much of a secret anymore, but for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have been working tirelessly to create this new venture that will be a part of Speak Shalonda TV. So we will continue to have our Tune Up Tuesdays on Tuesdays. But starting on Thursdays, I will be launching my full-on segments where I will be interviewing special guests. These are people that I know and that I love, most of which I know large portions of their story. And so I get to give you a peek into their lives, into their stories. But more specifically, the whole essence of these interview series is really to hone in on the same areas of focus that I speak to you about every week, and that is relationships, spiritual growth, lifestyle, anything pertaining to faith and growth and progression in life. And so with that, I do have a topic and a subtopic that I will begin with. And so if you are familiar with Lauryn Hill, then you know these lyrics, you know these words. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. If you've never heard that before, I would recommend that you go back and listen to that song by Lauryn Hill. But it could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. And then that subtopic that we're going to heavily focus in on is hard lessons that led to a liberated life. So just like my first guest, which you will get to see the portion of the first episode here in just a little bit, she is going to be sharing with us her story that led her to a place where she feels liberated, where she is at peace, where she is in a place of purpose and fulfillment. But we're not going to skip over the challenges that she had to face, the hard lessons that she had to learn in order to get there. And the whole point of this is because we don't want our children, we don't want even ourselves to have to go through the same things that we had to go through if they don't have to. Because we can share our stories, we can share our challenges, we can share our difficulties and give you the insight that we needed to have so that we can hopefully close that gap. So we're not experiencing the same hardships that our predecessors did. And so that's why I wanted to bring this new segment to Speak Shalonda TV. So I'm excited about it. I'm working really hard to improve it as I learn and grow. But stay tuned for part one of my first interview. I will introduce her and she will introduce herself here in just a brief moment. And I'll see you back here after the interview. Bye. So without further ado, I am super excited to introduce my best friend, Jennifer Myers. So Jennifer, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Well, I'm Jennifer. As she mentioned, I am a mother of one, soon to be empty nester. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie, or a TT is what they call me. What else do they need to know about me?
We have known each other for 20 plus years at this point. We have definitely seen quite a bit in our lives. And as I mentioned this topic to Jennifer, she actually thought about this quickly and said, no, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. It's very clear. And I'm grateful because it's not just for a limited type of audience. This can cover and help so many people. So you'll find that this is going to be a video that you're going to want to share with your loved ones, young and old, male or female. So I'm very glad for Jennifer to come and share with us her experience. So you already talked about you're a mom of a child who is about to pack up pack up and leave you Solo dolo, but you still got me. It's all good. All right. So today we're talking about hard lessons that led to a liberated life. Hard lessons that led to a liberated life. I'd love for you, Jennifer, tell us what was that hard lesson that you're sharing with us today?
So I come from a large family. Well, when I say a large family, I have three older sisters and a brother. My parents, both of my parents are deceased, and my dad was really strict. Okay. So when I graduated from high school and I turned 18, I wanted to just do whatever I wanted to do. Well, my father, in his eyes, he had rules. And even though I was 18, I still had to be in the house at 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that I didn't like those rules. And so I enrolled at the University of Oklahoma. I didn't do any kind of research. I didn't, I had this plan. Well, I thought I had a plan prior to that. But because I didn't like my daddy's rules, I decided, you know what? I'm going to just do something differently. So I just went and I enrolled in this big, large university. I racked up all these student loans. I basically was just going, I had no idea what I was doing, like, not a clue.
Right, right.
And so then I got this degree that I've never ever used, only to go and get a completely different degree. By the way, I'm a registered nurse that I did after the fact, that I ended up paying out of pocket for as an adult is when I did that.
Whew. So we got a lot of unpacking to do. There's so many different messages in just that, because we could talk about the hard-headedness of
Mhm.
a young person. We can talk about making decisions rashly, right? We can talk about waiting until you're over a certain age and then go back to the school and then the struggle that comes with that, the challenges that come with that. We can talk about a whole lot of different things. So we're gonna break some things down a little bit. Um, so I want to hear about once you got to college. Tell us about your college years. I'd love to hear things about your personality, like what was important to you then, what was your lifestyle like? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I was always a really outgoing person.
Mhm.
Well, let me back up. When I was younger, I was really shy. Once I got to maybe third or fourth grade and I like found out, okay, I got a personality. I was that one that I would volunteer to read or, get up and do certain things and talk in front of people. I was a cheerleader in high school. I was the popular girl. I was the one that I was the life of the party. Like, you invite me to the party, we turning up. That was me. So in college, nothing really changed except for the fact that I was in at this larger university and I didn't have my parents telling me that I couldn't go somewhere. So
Mm,
I still attended all of the parties. I would come to Dallas. I would have class on Friday night. I mean, on Friday morning, and I would be in Dallas on Thursday night, but then drive back to Oklahoma to be in class at 9:30 in the morning. I went to Kappa Beach parties. I went to the Freaknik. What else? I was there. So I was like one of those ones that had to be in the know of knowing what was going on. I was there.
right. So you definitely got the experiences that obviously most, if not all, college students get. But if you really think about it, and I'll ask you this question, if you're honest with yourself, um, that aspect, because you had a purpose when you moved out. Did you get what you were looking for?
Absolutely. I mean, and at the end I did, but I just basically was just winging it. Like, I didn't really have a roadmap. I wasn't going for purpose. I was just going because I didn't want to follow the rules,
Right, right.
which hurt me in the long run. If I would have just listened to what my dad was saying, then I wouldn't have had to take the long road to get to where I'm at right now.
Right, right. That helps us to segue into this next question. Being so strong-willed, even back then, what was that breaking point or that aha moment that helped you to realize I'm off track?
So while I was in school, there were signs of, okay, you want to graduate, right? So I would have my one of my really good friends, he's a year older than me. And he was always on track. Like he did everything the way that you're supposed to do them. You know, he didn't take out all the student loans. He decided to move back home and save the money. And he would tell me, Jennifer, you don't want to get all these student loans. And I'm saying, oh, Walter, whatever, like just let me live my life. So I was aware of it somewhat, but
Mhm.
I'm 19, 20 years old, so whatever. It wasn't until I became a full adult
Mhm.
that I realized, oh my gosh, like you haven't even used the degree that you have.
Mm.
And that's not even really because I really initially wanted to be an attorney. I was supposed to go to paralegal school, stay at home and enroll into, go to paralegal school, work with some attorneys, and then eventually go back to law school.
Right.
So
Wow.
it's just like, I mean, I didn't even really even touch it. I mean, I did the public administration degree, which is public policy, which I still could have gone to law school. But once
Right.
I was done, it was like, okay, now what do I do? So I go get the job where I'm making $13.75 an hour.
Mm.
But my student loans is
Ah,
$750 a month.
Lord help. Lord help. Went through all that. You had your fun,
Have
right?
my fun.
Your fun. You got your degree, and then here we are with at 13, $14 an hour
Yep.
with a steep debt. Wow.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about a couple of things. So in your pre-interview, you mentioned there were some signs, and this is really a good segue from what we just talked about, but you ignored them. I'm curious, and I'm pretty sure we have some parents, mothers or fathers out there who have some either teens or young adult children that you've reared your children in the right way to the very best of your ability. They're still going to have to get out,
Mhm.
figure out life on their own or experience life on their own. But even though in the back of the head, they got some things, they got some voices, mom and dad's voice or whoever's voice in the back of their head that's saying, pay attention to that. That's trying to tell you something, that's trying to show you something. So I'd love for you to tell the viewers here, tell me or tell us one or two of the signs that you ignored, why you ignored them, and why you think we ignore in general. Why do you think we people in general, why do you think we ignore signs?
For me, it was feeling stagnant. Like, I mean, I was going to class, I was passing, but I wasn't excelling. So
Hmm.
in high school, I did everything with excellence. Like my grades were excellent. I was at the top of my class in high school. But I
Then
was
let
when I got to college, I was just kind of just getting by.
mm,
So the some of the signs that I was ignoring was I'm watching my grades slowly decline. I mean, I'm holding on, but I'm
yeah,
not excelling to the point where I knew I could excel.
right, right.
Wasn't making those types of grades. And so that was one of them. And so because of the fact that I my grades were not up to par, I knew I couldn't apply to law school because it's competitive, right?
Yeah.
So then I settled
Hmm.
and I just said, okay, well, if I make at least a C or if I make at least this, then I'll still get the degree.
Mm.
So what that did for me is I didn't get the internships that you need in my field to be able to get, a decent type of career or start your career after you get your degree.
Mm.
Um, it impacted like every area of my life.
As you were talking, I was thinking about character because I remember again in your pre-interview you were describing and you mentioned the spirit of excellence that you operated even as a young teen or a young adult. You have it in you. It's an innate, characteristic in you to operate in excellence. But although your excellence was slowly depleting, you ignored it because you were comfortable. Because
Mm,
being stagnant will clearly cause you to be comfortable. You have a choice. Either you realize I'm not moving and I need to move, or I'm not moving, I'm just gonna chill for a minute.
mhm,
And how often do we choose to just chill for a minute?
mhm.
I.e., it could all be so simple,
Yep,
but we'd rather make it hard
yep.
when the signs are clear. And we can dress it up as many ways as we can. There are going to be signs that are just blatantly because of what life brings, and then there are clearly signs that God Himself shows us. But either way, we ignore them. He's like, "Hello, here's my will. I have a better way for you to go. It may not feel good because you are used to doing it your way, but I got something better for you, and at least I'll walk with you. At least you won't be by yourself." So why don't you encourage somebody who is maybe feeling like they are in a stagnant place and they see the signs, but they're ignoring them and they just need whatever that is to help them to stand up and go.
I would encourage you, number one, have a plan. If you write the vision and make it plain,
Mm,
had I written down where I wanted to see, where I needed to see myself, or where I wanted to see myself in 4 years of getting a bachelor's degree, and I had that to go back and refer to, then it would have kept me saying, okay, this is the reason why I'm doing it. And it's
right.
okay if you have to go back and do your goals. That's okay.
Yeah,
Because we're constantly changing.
absolutely.
And one of the things that I would encourage these young people to do is when you do things, be purposeful about what you're doing. Don't just go to college and you don't have a purpose. Like, what's the purpose?
Right.
That was what I did wrong.
Mm,
It's like going to the store. You don't know what you want to cook for dinner, and you just walking around in Kroger's. What do
huh,
you think is going to happen when you get to the checkout? You only have $50, but you don't know what you're coming in there to get.
right.
Get to the checkout counter and it's a $75, but you only got 50. You wasn't add nothing up, but you're just putting everything in your basket. Then you get home and you don't even really have anything to make a meal with. You just got stuff.
It's got stuff, junk.
Just stuff. Yes, junk. And
Mhm.
so I just encourage the young people to have a plan of action.
Yeah,
Some young people, like for myself, I could have gone to the community college. I could have stayed at home. I could have went to the community college. I could have taken a lot of my courses that am still paying for to this day,
mm,
20 plus years later, for a fraction of the price.
right.
I know your parents get on your nerves, but trust me, they're only telling you these things because they love you and they don't want you to be in debt.
That's right.
You know, they don't want you to graduate from college, get this job, and you paying all your money back for the student loans because you just want to go out and kick it. Well, they don't even say kick it anymore. Have a kickback or whatever, whatever they call it these days. Just really think about it.
Yeah.
If you're not the type of student that is willing to sit and study, then
Mhm.
maybe you need to not go to the 4-year university.
Right.
Maybe you need to go to Tarrant County or Dallas County or whatever county college that you have in your area.
Right. Right.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay. There's no law that says when you turn 18 or when you graduate high school, you have to go to college right now. Look at me. I'm 40. I'm not going to say my whole age
Well,
plus, and I literally have been in school my entire life. I
mm,
went to nursing school as an adult. And
mm,
the student that I am, I excelled as that student because I paid for it out of my pocket.
number one.
That's the first thing. And
Mhm.
so failure isn't an option for me. Like, and
Right.
I'm one of those ones, I want to make an A. because
Right.
I'm paying for it. So if I'm paying for it, you tell me why was this wrong?
Right.
Because it's supposed
Explanation.
to be the A. So when I went back the second time, like, of course, like my grades was up to par, but I,
Right.
I was more mature
Right.
and I had a purpose. I had a
Right.
plan.
Right. That's huge. That's huge. Well, what do you think? So that's my best friend, Jennifer Myers. She had a purpose and a plan. And we've literally only scratched the surface. You have to stay tuned for next week, where I will be sharing with you part 2 of our conversation, where Jennifer Myers expounds on the challenges that she had to face, but then she eventually got to a level of triumph. And she's going to be ministering to those of you who are in a place that she was in, or maybe you know someone that is currently facing something like that. College students, I recommend that you share it and be prepared with those notifications on, so that you can be notified once it is uploaded, so that you can watch it and share it with those you know will be impacted by her story and by her testimony. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting us as we embark upon this new segment with Speak Shalonda TV. I know it will get better and better by the grace of God. So I do appreciate your support thus far. Stay tuned again. I love you so much. Thank you again. Take care. Bye-bye now.